Very rock star though, is it? It's all country and homely.
It is, yeah. It's not rock star at all. I'm not really.
That's a great disappointment. I shall go, shall I?
Well,
It's very nice. I approve of it. Now, what's going on with your career now, young man? The Sugar Babes? It's all happening, isn't it?
it's going much better. But the thing is, when people think about me, if they think about me at all, that they only really are aware of things like Our French Electric and Cars, which are the first two big singles I had, and pretty much nothing until the Sugar Babes come along with Our French Electric again.
Don't look back and think, oh, that was top of the pop years.
No, not for good or bad. I don't look back and think, oh, it was so much better then. You know, I don't. I'm much more interested in what I'm going to be doing tomorrow than what I did yesterday.
Tell me about what it was like. You're in your parents' house and suddenly you are a big pop star.
It's odd. It's odd because
How
it's
did
such
they
an
react?
anticlimax. Can you imagine? It's something. Well, you've always. It's the biggest thing in your life, the biggest thing you've ever dreamed of, and you get a phone call, and the man from the record company says, "Congratulations, you're #1," and you go, "Oh yeah, yippee!" And you leap around a bit, and then nothing's changed. You got no money. You're still living in your mum and dad's house, and I went back to the front room, and carried on watching Thunderbirds or whatever it was on the telly. Fair enough.
It didn't change your relationship with your parents at all?
Well, not really. The way you actually are with each other, and the way you feel about each other, and the way you react. You know, they didn't suddenly start booking an appointment to talk to me because I was famous all of a sudden. It wasn't, nothing like that changes at all.
They obviously had a huge influence over you. Why were they so influential? How did they bring you up that was so good?
When you're made to feel that everything you do, from your first silly little drawing when you first go to school to be #1, is the most important thing that's ever happened to them and the best thing they've ever seen. You know, and it's spoilt, to be honest about it, but spoilt within certain guidelines. You know, never allowed to get away with anything that wasn't polite and well-mannered and honest and decent and the rest of it.
So when times were hard, it affected your parents quite a lot, didn't it? Because you were a cottage industry, all in it together.
Yeah, yeah. You know, if the money situation was getting worse, then it affected everybody. So where I was struggling here to hang on to this, my parents were running out of money as well, and the guilt of that obviously is enormous. So when this more recent period sort of started to emerge, where things started to go better, and you began to see this second chance come along that I'd all kind of dreamed of for years, that you get a chance to repair the damage.
But they never lost faith in you, did they?
I don't know if sort of faith in me, it kind of has anything to do with it, really. It's they.
Well, they never said, look, come on, Gary, look, we've got some big money problems now. You're going to have to go out and get yourself a proper job. Come on.
But a proper job would never have solved it. I got myself into such big trouble, money-wise, that I was never going to have an ordinary job that would ever got me out of trouble. It was terrible. You're well over £500,000 in debt.
Well, you got through the low without turning to the drink and drugs that a lot of other people in your profession do.
Yeah.
But you managed to make your money and keep things just about solvent, or keep the bailiffs at the door by your stunt plane.
The aeroplane wasn't really making me money, but it wasn't losing me any. The reason I got into flying so much, apart from loving it anyway, if you imagine you've been this massive sort of rock star on one hand, and that's now going and it's fading away, and you know, kind of your ego and your self-esteem tends to go with it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of a bit soul-destroying, you know. And there's a lot of people really enjoying it and making fun of you and so on. The music thing was sort of sucking me away, so this thing was building me back up again, and it was vital to me. And I think that's why I didn't get all druggy and drunk and bitter and twisted about it, because I had this that still made me feel proud of myself.
You've turned it round and it's all coming back up again. At last, you're thinking.
Yeah.
Are you more wary of it this time round?
I'm nowhere near where I was before. I wouldn't want to be there again. I've been #1, done all that, brilliant.
Yeah.
But I know what it's like to be there, and being #5
Would make
or
you very
10 or
happy.
20 is brilliant.
We're going to talk about more things that make you happy later on, like doing death-defying stunts and your passion for fast cars, planes, and your gorgeous wife, Gemma. All coming up later on. Join us then. Fast cars and aeroplanes parked outside.
Well, there's one round the corner.
Is there?
Yeah, I've got one nice car.
You like things that go faster, don't you? Fast planes, fast cars.
It's not a speed thing.
No?
It isn't. It's a power thing. I like things that are really powerful, and it's that the acquisition of skills that I'm into and that I get excited by.
The flip side, of course, to control is losing control, and that gets dangerous.
Yeah.
Does that worry you? Does that excite you?
It's exciting. It's all about control of risk, isn't it? Or risk management, I think they call it, where you put yourself into situations where the level of risk is acceptable.
Hang on, you do stunts in a little aeroplane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's not an acceptable level of risk, is
Well,
it?
in a way, that's probably the most dangerous thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of people get killed doing that. I've known about 30 odd people get killed doing that.
Yeah, you've lost colleagues,
Yeah.
friends.
Well,
so
the first team I was in, of the 6 people in that, 4 of them are dead. So that is pretty dangerous, I suppose.
but that's an acceptable risk to you.
It sounds silly now you
I
put it
know.
like that.
I
but
know.
Yeah.
Tell me about the incident over the Pacific.
When a colleague of mine flew around the world, and we had a we were in a twin-engine airplane, and we had a double engine failure mid-Pacific. Now that was scary, because now what you're going to do? You're in the middle of the Pacific. You're about 1,000 miles from anywhere. It's dark, pitch black at night time. Couldn't see the sea because it was cloud cover and just horrible. And you think you're going to crash in the middle of the Pacific.
So what's going on in your mind in the moment?
Well, you know that you've got very, very little chance of surviving the crash because you can't see the water. Getting out of the airplane would have been a miracle. You never got out before it sank if you survived the crash at all. If by some miracle you did get out, you're going to be in the middle of the Pacific. You're going to be hurt, floating around in your life jacket, waiting for the sharks to come. You know, how bad does it get? And you got all this time, 12,000 feet down to the sea, to think about it. So it's pretty horrible, pretty scary. And you know that if there is any chance at all of surviving, it's only going to be the man that gets out first. So you're thinking, how do I make sure that I get out first before him?
Really?
Yeah, that's horribly cutthroat, isn't it? But
Yeah,
you're going to
it
die.
is.
If you don't, you're going to die.
You were obviously hugely practical, but there must have been irrational, emotional thoughts there as well.
No, there wasn't irrational thoughts. It was very calm. Like, you just sit back and wait for it to come. And
But you see, that's what amazes me, sitting back and waiting for it to come. I think
You've
I
got
would have
nothing
been
else to do.
praying to everybody else's God,
Well,
plus a couple of my own.
It
If
wasn't
I
going to work for me. See, I'm not.
nobody up there for you to call upon.
No.
It didn't even cross your mind to say, because even people who absolutely don't believe in God, at that point, I think would have said, okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
No, I got no. My lack of belief is that strong that I don't have that. I would rather spend those few seconds thinking about how I could get out. In a way, it's a lovely thing to. It sounds stupid, but it's a lovely thing to have gone through. In that you find out about yourself. I come back prouder of myself than I went out.
Did you? Did you come back with any less fear of death, having been there and remained calm? Or?
No, not at all.
So you are quite scared of death. I mean, do you think you only get
terrifying,
one chance, one life, or do you think that maybe we have another crack at it in another form?
I'm treating this as if it's the only one I've got.
You credit your wife, Gemma, with getting you through the tough times and making you a better person.
Yeah.
How does she do that?
In lots of ways, really. I had, and still have some, but I had lots and lots of odd little things. I have a mild form of a thing called Asperger's syndrome where I can't interact properly. I don't understand conversation properly. I don't do it very well. I say the wrong things, or I don't say anything at all when I should be saying something. I give the wrong impression. I'm not good at it. Now Gemma is gifted at it. So whereas I'd become very reclusive and didn't go out at all, didn't socialise in a music business, didn't go out at all,